It is a professional practice. Forensic structural engineering is a professional practice of the following three things, if we want to break it up into parts. First is investigating and determining the causes of failures, why things happened, trying to identify who is the culprit, who is responsible or mainly responsible for a failure, and lastly, to render opinions, give a conclusion, and if called upon, we provide expert testimony in court. Because there has been a great deal of proliferation of failures, and some people tell me we've always had these many failures, they were just not publicized as much as today, but certainly if you look around, and probably that's why you are on this webinar, because you also feel that there are a lot of failures. Design and construction has been getting more and more complex. Insurance companies certainly will not pay out very easily without scrutinizing the case. People are ready to sue. If you fall on the floor of a department store, some people will gather around you. Probably nobody will help you, but they will tell you to stay put, wait until management comes so they can take a picture of you on the floor. And if there is a litigation, there is a need for, in our case, engineering advice and support, because attorneys may be good attorneys, but they probably know very little about engineering aspects. And last but not least, it's a damn good business. It's a very lucrative business, whatever the reason might be. So all of these led to this, what I call a professional practice. Some of my colleagues say that in the 1960s, if there was a problem, we just had a meeting, sat down, discussed that, argued, and came to an agreement. Everybody put in some money and the thing was solved. Well, I don't think it was that easy, but certainly it's not like today where if you have a failure, probably the first call you make is to your attorney. May or may not be the case always, but unfortunately seems to be predominant. So let's look at the disputes. Failures can cause damage. They can cause delay. They can cause loss of income. There will be a cost of repairing the failure. There may be personal injury. There may be loss of life. And all of these, unfortunately, come down to money. And it's quite reasonable that if you're damaged, you want restitution. You want somebody to give you satisfaction for your damage or suffering. And of course, the means for that is usually money. The party who is accused of having caused the failure or the damage naturally wants to minimize the responsibility, and therefore the damaged party makes a claim, the guilty party puts up a defense, and the result is a dispute. And I think this is normal whether we're talking about engineering failures or anything else where there is damage. There are various ways to try to resolve the dispute, and in the order of increasing, I call it hostility and expense, we have settlement discussions, mediation, arbitration, and trial in court, although some people claim that arbitration can be more costly than trial in court. So let's look at these individually. Again, just very briefly. Settlement discussion essentially is when the parties come together to a meeting and try to come to an agreement, try to come to a resolution, and probably there will be compromise by everybody, because probably everybody comes in with a stronger position that they want to project than what it really is. The other one would be mediation. For those of you who don't know what it is, usually the parties agree on an individual who will be the mediator, who has some experience in it. And this mediator will try to bring them together. And very briefly, the way it starts, if there are two parties to the mediation,